doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Welcome back to part 2 of my engine disassembly and figuring out what's wrong with it. From the last episode, as you saw, we took apart that 14 horsepower single cylinder Briggs engine. It was the engine out of the Simplicity tractor that I chucked out. So we found out that the issue why the engine wasn't spinning past the compression stroke, it was hard to spin, was because we had these metal shards that were in between the links of the balancer to the crankshaft. Now I took 2 other crankshafts with balancers that matched the same year as this one, and I'll show you what it looks like. As you see here, this is the original crankshaft attached to the balancer, and it now does not have whatever coating it was. Metal. I tested it with a magnet and it was metal. So some metal sleeve that's in between the links to this balancer to the bearing journal of the crankshaft. And so as you can see here, you can hear that there's a lot of friction. These are 2 other ones that have the same kind of balancer. See what I mean? Instead of the other type that has individual links that come off, this is just like 1 piece or 2 pieces. So look how smooth this is. Super smooth, whereas this one has a lot of friction because that sleeve, that metal sleeve that protects the journal of the crankshaft to the balancer is gone. It was what disintegrated, and it looked like it was overheated and melted really bad. So there's a lot of friction now. These are smooth and quiet. Same goes with this one. Smooth and quiet. Problem is though, I can't use this crankshaft or this crankshaft. Why? Take a look at the diameter and thickness of the journal. See this one? Noticeably much bigger, so it won't fit my connecting rod. See how thick that is?
That's what she said.
This one's not so thick. So I think I'm gonna have to take one of those apart and put this crankshaft onto that or that balancer. So it's pretty easy to remove. 10mm bolt here. Take the crank gear out. And this disassembles into 2. But this way we can look at this one and see where was that metal stuff that came out. This doesn't look any, oh, there is, that's right. Look. There is a layer here. Bearings. There is a layer of bearings here. And that's what came off of this one. That's fascinating. Now I know that there's a bearing in there. A sleeve. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. So this original crank is not fitting into the second replacement link because there's aluminum transfer here. I'm going to try to grind that out with a wired brush without damaging . All right, as you saw from time lapse, I took the 3 crankshafts. This is the original crankshaft. Smoothed out the journal with some sandpaper and oil, and also repaired the aluminum transfer on this journal over there. It was kind of hard to get off. I had to slowly, sensitively chip away at the aluminum transfer, and it did come off and chip off. And then I used a strip of sandpaper with oil, and we just went around and just made it smooth. And I couldn't use this one. You know why? Look at this. This is the front part of the other balancer. Look at this. I noticed that this was also deteriorating. So this was what was inside the engine. It is the sleeve bearing to this. As you can see, this one is already deteriorating. And this is what happened. From heat and stuff like that, this starts to shred up. And then when this is spinning at super fast revolutions, it's going to just tear it up. You know what I mean? And that's why it wasn't easily, the starter couldn't easily spin the flywheel because of all this friction, because the inner part of this bearing was being stripped out and deteriorating. So this is trash right here, you know? I've never seen this before. And here we go. Attempting to put together another balancer and crankshaft assembly. I find one that's already starting to peel. Amazing. Leave in the comments if you guys have seen this before. I've never, and I've rebuilt like probably 18 or 20 engines. I've never seen this before. This is a first for me. To be honest with you guys, I mean, it's pretty good. This is the original crankshaft. The front is from one of them. The back is from another one. This is the original thing that holds the balancer pretty much in place, right? It was aluminum transfer here and some here, and I just smoothed it out. And this is quiet. I mean, I feel a little resistance, but I think when you spin it a lot of times, revolutions and stuff with assembly lube and all that stuff, it'll kind of smooth out by itself. But this is going to be way better than before, you know what I mean? Where two balancer links didn't even have any inner bearings to it. So now I've rebuilt my balancer and crankshaft. Hopefully this will work. I mean, it's an old engine, you know what I mean? If it runs for a little while, it'll probably run okay. But I don't have any other parts that would, I would need a new balancer, a new crankshaft that would fit exactly that connecting rod, which I don't have for sure, because connecting rods they're 98% of the reason why engines blow is connecting rod blows, you know what I mean? So it's not like I have a million of them lying around. This one is fortunately good, and the only one it fits is this crankshaft. So at least I had some extra balancers. We can piece together a good one that has link bearings in them. I call them link bearings because it links the balancer to the crankshaft, so I call them link bearings, inner sleeves. Tell me what they're called if you guys know. I'd be really interested to know if any of you guys have experienced this. The inner journal bearings to the balancer link to the crankshaft. I had no idea there were bearings in there, you know? Anyway, so I use this box to clean it, and it's trashed, it's dirty and everything. But it gives me a perfect opportunity to show you what I got from my friends over at VEVOR. So I have to pressure wash all this stuff, right? Because you got mouse nests in the fins, you got grease everywhere. At least I'm gonna pressure wash everything here, including that engine stand that's filled with oil. But so I got a new reel hose assembly from VEVOR. Comes with a nice new gun with a lot of different settings to patterns of water spray. Hardware bolts to attach the reel to a structure like a pole or part of your house or fence or something. Instructions for the retractable hose reel, watering your lawn or your plants or your bushes. And this thing is no joke. Oh, son of a gun. Oh my goodness. Bracket here that you could attach with those bolts, and like I said, you can hook this retractable reel hose onto like a structure, you know. But I usually just let it sit in my garden bay. So on this side is where you can pull it all out. I'm not sure if it's 100 feet or 50 feet. I have one that's 50 feet and it's much smaller than this, so I'm thinking this has got 100 feet worth of hose in here. I mean, it's much bigger than the one that I have. So this part goes to your pressure washer or that spray gun, right? And this other side connects to your water spigot, to a water supply. So my water spigot is on the other side of that fence. So I'll disconnect this hose. Really connect this to my water spigot. And now you can pull out the reel up to a point, and then when you want to retract it, you pull it fast and let it go, and it retracts back in here again. Isn't that convenient? So we're going to put on this gun and just check out the patterns of this gun. There you go. I just turn on the water. A lot of hose. There we go. So this is angle, flat, flood, mist, jet, center, cone. That seems like it's most useful, huh? Fan. Shower. And back to angle. So really cool. I think I like mist better. So I'm going to attach this to my pressure washer. We're going to clean that engine now. I got plenty of hose, because this ought to stretch like 50 to 100 feet. I hate pressure washers. There's so much trouble. There we go. We pressure washed all the parts. They're all very oily, so I doubt it'll rust overnight. It's warm, 75 or so, so tomorrow it should be all dried out. I'm gonna put the hose away now. And this retractable reel hose is so easy to put away. They just put my gun back on again. Just like that. Like I said, it's meant to be mounted on like a pole or something. But that's okay. I'll just let it sit here. Works great. Now it's ready to use whenever I feel like it. This is exactly what you need. Go get yourself a VEVOR retractable hose reel. I'll leave a link in the description. So it's the next day. I've been charging this battery for like 24 hours. And I put the tester to it and it shows 39% healthy, 0% charge. So it's not taking a charge. So look at this battery. It says March of 23, barely 2 years old. And it's from Interstate, which I always thought they were great. And I bought this from Costco, and it was like 80 bucks, which is pretty cheap. This is an 850 CCA, but look, return warranty and used batteries to Costco wholesale. So I'm going to return this to Costco because I should be able to get at least 2 years out of this thing, and it's just dead ski. I kind of don't trust Costco anymore. Anyway, this is a battery, AGM battery. Agricultural glass something or other. I don't know. I don't really understand it. But anyway, this has been sitting in my garage for like 6 months. Okay. My friend Bill Martini gave this to me, and it was dead ski, and I rejuvenated it with my desulfator. Anyway, this shows 92% healthy, 95% fully charged. Good battery, it says. See? This is about the same size as that one. So I'm going to throw this in there and take that battery back. No longer will I buy an Interstate battery. So I just measured my Interstate battery, and it's 12. This is 11 by 7. This is 7 by 7, which is 8. Got plenty of room. So, of course I have a problem. It won't reach. Positive terminal won't reach the positive terminal because on the Interstate battery, the terminal is closer. I have to find another battery now. I got an old Die-Hard battery in there. It's 750 CCAs. The other one was only 650. But this is not an AGM battery, and when I tested this battery, it was like 25% healthy, 30% charged, whatever. But this battery's been sitting in my garage for like a year, you know what I mean? Through the winter and everything. So I'm just gonna, I put it in because it was the only battery I had that had the matching terminals. Positive on this corner, whatever, because the positive wire on this truck only reaches that far. So the other terminal was over here and it wouldn't reach. I could do an extension, but you're not gonna have a great connection if you put an extension on it, you know? So this is the only battery that fits the terminals. It's a little bit stronger, but I don't think the condition of it is as good as that AGM battery. But either way, I'm gonna charge it up full, put the desulfator on here, and I just do not understand how this works, but I have rejuvenated it probably half of the dead batteries that I've gotten to completely healthy, you know. So this $25 desulfator that I got on Amazon it's really saved me a lot of money and fixed up a lot of batteries. So I swear by it. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys want one of those. So as you saw, I pressure washed everything. I mean, this is a junk engine, you know what I mean? And I'm not going to invest crazy time trying to smoothen out, you know, the aluminum transfer parts and everything, because you do something with an old engine like this, and I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree, an old worn engine like this, if you keep sanding and sanding and sanding to get everything super smooth, what happens is you take out a lot of the material that's already been worn. So therefore, you're going to put this engine back together again, and it'll knock because there's some play now in between the connection between the crank journal and the connecting rod, right? So that's a big no-no. So I was going to sand off some aluminum transfer off of the end of the connecting rod as well as the connecting rod bearings itself, but then you're most likely going to have an engine that knocks, and what's the point of it, right? Also, I did some, you know, smoothing out of the bearings in between here, and I actually looked it up last night because I was so curious. and I found this video from FN Guitar a long time ago.
Yeah, the whole crankshaft is completely apart. Now, if you look inside here where the crankshaft rides, there's a bearing shell in here. You can replace these if you got too much play in it. I'm not sure what the specs are. I'm not checking any of this because I'm just going to put this one right back together. I'm just taking it apart to show you how to do it. And the same for the other.
Anyway, it's the only video out there that actually shows that there is a removable sleeve journal bearing that goes in between the two balancer parts. And I mean, this is pretty smooth, you know what I mean? I did take off and chip off a bunch of aluminum transfer, sanded it down as you saw with oil and everything. So this is okay, not great, but okay. And I'm just gonna put it back together. I'm just gonna put all this shit back together again, and we'll see what happens, you know what I mean? If it doesn't run, it doesn't run. But, you know, what did we lose? You know, I lost some time, obviously a lot of education, because we actually for the first time realized that there are, you know, bearings inside this balancer that you could replace, which is completely new to me, you know. I will have to change the stator to this because this stator's trashed. But I will just put this together. You guys have seen me put engines together before. I'm just gonna put you on time lapse and see how it goes. All right, so I've got, you know, the basics together. So here's the story. The connecting rod and the end, when I put it on and tighten it as hard as I can, which is what you're supposed to do, right? You can't even move it. So I'm thinking it's because of the aluminum transfer on the connecting rod. Once you tighten it fully, it doesn't give any play, right? Also, I'm using assembly lube to put everything together, but this is very thick, you know, it's not like lubricity, regular motor oil. So when I removed the connecting rod from this engine before, I felt like the bolts were not tight at all. So I loosened them a little, and now it can move. So I put a drill to it, to the crankshaft, just so it could turn and kind of smooth it out on its own, adding oil to it too. So now it's pretty smooth, but I didn't really tighten those bolts very tight. So I'm thinking about Loctiting it or just leaving it. Anyway, here, this is what it looks like on the inside. It's kind of interesting. When I go at high speeds, you can hear a knock, right? That knock is really because this sump plate is not on, so this shaft is just wobbling like that. When the sump cover is on, it holds this end of the crankshaft solid like that. I mean, I think. I mean, I'm questioning whether the starter is going to be able to even turn this thing. Now it's starting to smooth out. It's a little easier with the drill. It's pretty interesting how it works, huh? You know what, guys? I'm just gonna send it. I've been at this for quite a while. So I was putting the carburetor on, and I looked at it. I took the bowl off, and it was trash. Needle was stuck in there. Tried to get it out, broke the bowl. I figured I'd take a Nicky carb and put it on, because this one seems good. So I just put it on, placed it with the plastic one with the metal one, which goes with this, right? If you put the other kind on that's not metal, it's not going to fit because it's shorter or longer, one of those. It didn't coincide with the choke. So I had it on here, put this on, it was stuck. The choke wouldn't move because the way this is different from the way the Nicky ones are. Like it fits, but it doesn't fit because it keeps these things open or closed, and you can't even open it or close it. So if you're going to use a Nicky one, you can't use it with the old style, thing like that. You can't use it. It won't work. So the only way it would work is using the older Walbro kind of carburetors, which I had another one of. So I basically took the two original Walbros, right, mixed up good parts, and I have one here. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not, but the choke seems good now, see? Before, the other one wouldn't do that. And this one will accommodate this airbox setup. This will work. It actually does turn pretty well, I will say. So let me put this together. We'll put a jumper pack to the starter, spray some stuff, and see if it goes vroom. Then I would be so happy if it went vroom. If it doesn't go vroom, then this was all for now. I am spent. I am so tired and so hot. That's why my friends over at Conbola sent me a fan. Not just a regular fan, a solar powered fan. Perfect for working outside in the hot summer heat. Sweating your balls off. Solar panel. Fan. USB-C cable. Plug it into the solar panel. So you shine it against the sun. There's a green light showing that it's charging. Look at that. It's got a battery in it. 3 intensities of brightness. Plug it into a USB here. Or USB-C there, and two-speed, third speed, full blast. Nice. You can shine it up at ya. Luke, you are my father. Conbola solar fan. What are we going to come up with next? If you guys are interested in this, I'll leave a link in the description. Okay, here we go. I'm going to spray some jism in here. It's a lot. I'm going to choke it. It's choked. Oh, you know what? I didn't put any oil in it. I don't have high hopes that this is going to work, so I'm not going to use up my good SAE 30. Got some 10W30 here, conventional, not synthetic. This takes about a quart and 1.2, 1.3. I'm just going to put 1 full quart in there. That'll be more than good enough to lubricate the engine. Girl. Who's the biggest dick in the world? Me! That's right. I had forgotten that the oil valve shutoff was open when I did the oil change, remember? Or, yeah, added oil. Or tried to drain the oil. Unbelievable. It's a good thing I didn't put any SAE 30 in there, huh? It would have been wasted. Unbelievable. Why didn't any of you guys tell me? Jesus. Some super clean floor absorbent. I use a lot of this because I'm a dick. This thing works great. It'll pretty much pick up whatever mess I make. So let it sit here for a while. Sucks up all the oil and then you sweep it up. I've got this Lucas engine break-in oil, SAE 30. It is a rebuilt engine, if you want to think about it that way. So we'll put that full quart, one full quart of this engine break-in. I'm never really going to use this, so we'll throw it in here. Please don't drip out. So if you pour it sideways like, it'll get a little smoother. It's coming out really well. So well that filling it up too much. You know, I kind of stopped it before from coming out, so this might be overfilled. I still have some. That'll be good enough. Let me connect the connections again. We already shot jism in it, right? Just want to go for vroom. All right, you ready? Here we go. I'll hold this. All right, well, it turns pretty easy. Too easy, actually. Turns pretty easy, like compression wise. And there's no muffler, so it's going to be louder than hell if it goes off. So it's getting spark, otherwise it wouldn't pop. But it's not gonna engage. It's pretty smooth. And this battery's dead. Alright, well that's a little bit of it. It does pop. It didn't go vroom, but did go pop. Honestly, it seems like it doesn't have enough compression. Or the battery I was using was just not strong enough to generate enough speed, to generate enough spark, to ignite all the jism that I was shooting into the carburetor. As you saw, I put it together pretty well. I had to mess with the damn carburetor a couple of times because we found out that only these Walboro ones fit this air box setup for these older metal engine cover type Briggs single cylinder engines. The plastic engine covers, you know, the ovalish, oblong kind, it has that elbow, whatever, those can take this or the Nickies. But I tried to put a good Nicky on here, it wouldn't fit, got in the way of all the linkages, choke and all that. But we did get a good dipstick for this, and it seems to, you know, turns pretty well. I was surprised. I thought I wasn't going to get any good, you know, spinning motion. I thought it was going to be all locked up and stuff. So here, this engine was a oil pump type, so it actually has a pulse line that comes out of the vent. I wonder if I should block that off. Anyway, there you go. Rebuilt the engine. Just basically replaced the balancer in there, smooth out some of the bearings. Put everything back. I think that starter's just fine. We did get it to pop, crank and pop. It's getting spark, obviously. I need to take this back off again and connect the kill wire to it, to the magneto. Because right now, even if you start it up, you couldn't shut it off. Got to figure out, the original muffler comes out to here. A lot of tractors, you can't have a muffler right out here because the hood is here. It's not going to fit. So we'll put this on one of those tractors in the back. We'll get a stronger battery at that time, maybe a faster crank. We'll get this to start. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was part 2 of this engine rebuild. Remember to like, share, and subscribe so I can continue to bring you small engine content like this one. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. All that work, just got it to crank and pop. Crank and pop. At least it popped.
So what they say in New York, is you dumb?
So you really think y'all break?
Is you dumb?
Oh, that's a shame.